Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Today is Friday, January 2nd, 2026. That sounds a little bit weird to say still. Look, I normally don't do this, but I was not prepared today. I'm not going to lie to you. Things kind of slipped through my fingers. It's not a bad thing. I've been in flow all day. If you've ever been in a flow state before, it's kind of like you lose track of all time. Things are going well. Things are moving forward. You're being creative and helpful and happy. That's how I've been today. I've been working on website stuff and deep analysis of my strategy from last year and working on things for this year. So I kind of forgot. Not going to lie to you. I kind of wasn't prepared at all for this live video, but I've been saying I'm going live every day at 12 p.m. And so I'm showing up regardless. I'm showing up just to try my best. I'm going to try to give you some value today, and I'm going to try to work through this, even though it's not going to be pretty or perfect or, polished. It's not even going to be as good as it usually is, where I have things prepared and things to look at and things to talk about. Today, I'm literally just showing up as I am. Usually, I even have my desk standing up and I'm standing. Today, I'm sitting down, which kind of feels good, not going to lie. But I'll tell you the truth. It's just been a crazy, crazy day. I've got some guys in my backyard right now working on the outside of my house, trying to fix some things that broke. And all the stuff that's going on around me, plus all of the deep work that I was working on, I just completely forgot until about 11:55 that I was supposed to go live. Then I'm like just working. And I look at the clock. I go, oh wait, I'm supposed to go live. And then I'm like, should I cancel it? And I said, you know what? No, because I made a promise to myself and I made a promise to people here on this channel that I would be live every single day at 12 noon. So here I am showing up even when it's not perfect. You've got to start where you are. You got to do the work even when it's not perfect, even if you're not fully prepared. And I truly believe that. I think it will come back to serve me in the long run if I continue to do that. So, I would love to know, where's everybody coming from? I'm going to type some things out in chat now. How's everybody doing? Where are you tuning in from? Look, I do these live videos to try to connect with people and meet them where they are. I am not trying to be your guru or your expert or your this or that. I'm literally here just to try to create a supportive space for people and try to create a space where people can be themselves and share their stories. And also to share some empowerment, some uplifting messages, some positive news. And that's why this show is called Lunchtime Lift. I go live every day at 12 noon and I try to bring positive, inspirational stories or lessons that we can all learn from, grow from, and move forward feeling good for the rest of the day. I know that it's so easy to look at all these negative stories that are out there and like all the bad stuff in the world. It's so easy to find, it's so easy to see, and it's constantly in our face. So I like to try and push that aside and try and bring some positive energy to the world every single day at 12 noon. Not only will it help to bring positive energy to the world overall, but it also helps to, help people get through the rest of their day. Because oftentimes in the afternoon, we just have that crash. We don't feel as well. Things start to weigh on us, and it just gets harder and harder to get through the day. So I want to be there to support you and help in that facet as well. And finally, the nervous system. Our nervous system is under constant threat and attack. That's why our bodies are often in a fight or flight mode. And this is true, especially if you're dealing with chronic illness or Lyme disease. It is a nervous system response issue above all else. And if we can calm our nervous system, bring it to rest and repair mode instead of fight or flight mode, it allows us to get better, faster. Our body can heal itself as long as it's in this frame. And that takes time, attention, focus. It's difficult, but that's what I hope to do as well with this show, is just allow you a calm space where there's positive energy instead of negative energy. And I hope that resonates with you. If it does, let me know. Post it in the comments. Post it in the chat. Love reading all the chat and comments from people all around the world. It's absolutely amazing. And what should we do today? Now that I'm not really prepared at all. But let's do what I normally do. And let's just pull up the news places that I normally look for positive news and see if we find anything that jumps out at us. See if we find anything that's interesting or positive or inspirational today on January 2nd, 2026. I have it open now, and I'm just going to share my screen. Boom. All right. So this is the website that I often use to find positive news. It's called Good News Network. And they always have some really interesting stories. 2025 was Year of the Octopus, says UK Wildlife Trust, amid record cephalopod sightings. Wow, they saw tons of octopi this year. That's interesting. Octopi. I always want to say octopuses, but then as soon as you say it, you realize that's not how you say it. They're very interesting creatures, right? They can like camouflage themselves. They're really smart. They know how to hide. And there's that one recent documentary where the guy like builds a deep relationship with an octopus. I think they're fascinating. And that's really interesting that 2025 was the year for them. Let's see. Hungary's famous thermal baths are saving the country's famous grasslands from desertification. World's first arm exoskeletons. That's sick. I like the idea of that. Let's look into this. It feels like me again. I love that saying. I always hear my clients at limewars.com say similar things. I feel like I have my body back again. I feel like myself again. Those messages are so powerful and inspirational. An exoskeleton for the entire arm has been invented and designed in Norway to help stroke victims recover the use of their arms. It detects and then amplifies tiny movements through the arm and shoulder, and the developers hope to launch it as a fully commercial product this year. Fascinating. Wow, that is so cool. Love that. Let's see if there's anything else we can find here. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's too much. Let's check Positive News Network here. Sometimes they have some good articles. This one we already read yesterday. Let's refresh this because maybe it's... Nope. Looks like it's still just the same articles from yesterday. What? Stand-up comedy for moms and babies. That's really interesting. Whoever thought that would work? Comedy clubs. I've done stand-up comedy. I've actually posted the video of my stand-up comedy online. It's something that I wanted to try. I did it for about 6 months. I ended up actually doing a ton of shows, and I ended up getting paid to do it one time. Okay, I wasn't a pro. I wasn't amazing. I just had a really good bit that I practiced over and over and over again. A really solid 5 minutes, and that was back years and years ago. But it was fun. It was interesting, and I posted it all online. I posted my most successful show online, to be fair, and there was a ton of really unsuccessful shows. Right, I failed many times at getting laughs, which. Hey, that's part of the process, and it was really difficult and interesting process that I went through because, the whole idea was for me to get better at public speaking, get better at standing up on stage in front of people, get better at, being comfortable in my own shoes. And I think it had a generally positive impact on my life that I did that. And, I always consider getting back into it. I absolutely love stand-up comedy. I think it's amazing to make people laugh and to make people just have those feelings. Like if you can use your words to get people to feel something, I love that. I think it's so powerful and cool. But this is interesting. So if you've ever been to a comedy club, it is not made for kids at all. If there's a kid there, it's very awkward. And they're saying here, baby-friendly comedy clubs, which I don't know how I feel about that. Usually that's really hard to do because comedians don't tend to like performing for children, being that they say a bunch of how do I say this? They say things that are borderline not okay, not friendly to babies or children. I wouldn't want to bring my kids to a comedy club, for example, because they would hear a bunch of raunchy, crazy things that, I don't think it would be the best place for a child. But let's see, baby-friendly comedy clubs. They're giving exhausted new parents a chance to laugh, connect, and swap nursery rhymes for punchlines. I mean, okay. I wanted anyone who came to feel like they'd found a place where they belonged. Whoa. This is real. That's interesting. I wonder how it works. Ooh, I don't know about this. That doesn't look like the best outfit there to be in front of a bunch of kids. But hey, it is what it is. What are you going to do about it? I think it's interesting. I wonder if it'll work, and there you go. Again, I'm doing this as we speak. I was not prepared for today. Just a lot going on, and it's my fault. But I showed up anyway because I wanted to try my best to. I said I was going to. I said I was going to be here every day, and I like to follow through with the things that I say. And so this will help me build self-trust with myself because, hey, I said I was going to do it, and here I am. And also, maybe it'll inspire someone else to continue down their own path. Even when it's hard, even when it's messy, even when it doesn't look clean, even when it's not polished and perfect, we can still show up. We could still try our best, and we could still do whatever's in our power to make it a good time and to make things work. So again, I mean, there's not that many good articles here on the site that I usually use. There's not that many good ones over here, and I'm just trying to find one as we speak. But you know what? I'm going to switch up and just go into our daily little reading here, our reflection for the day. Let me get the book. One sec. All right, here we go. And this book is The Daily Laws. Let me remove this out of the way. Daily Laws by Robert Greene, 366 meditations on power, seduction, mastery, strategy, and human nature. It's an amazing self-improvement book. It just gives you a passage every single day, about a paragraph like that long, that you read every single day. And it primes you. It gets you to think. It gets you to meditate on these ideas that will have an impact on your life. That's the goal anyway, right? So let's see what today, January 2nd, has in store in the Daily Laws. Yesterday we read the January 1st. It was about discovering your calling. That one was super interesting. Made me think about my childhood. Made me think about the things that I enjoy to do. Today, January 2nd, also going to make you think about your childhood because the title is Reconnect with Your Childhood Obsession. When Marie Curie, the future discoverer of radium, was 4 years old, she wandered into her father's study and stood transfixed before a glass case that contained all kinds of laboratory instruments for chemistry and physics experiments. She would return to the room again and again to stare at the instruments, imagining all sorts of experiments she could conduct with these tubes and measuring devices. Years later, when she entered a real laboratory for the first time and did some experiments herself, she reconnected immediately with her childhood obsession. She knew she had found her vocation. Wow, that's a cool story. I didn't know that. I didn't know that she was into it from a very, very young age. Daily Law, you were obsessed with it as a child for a reason. Reconnect with it. So what were you obsessed with as a child? Post it in the comments, post it in the chat. Let's talk about it. I'll tell you mine. The first thing I was ever obsessed with was probably soccer. I still love soccer to this day. My son plays soccer. I play soccer still to this day, which I never thought would be the case. I always thought, okay, if you don't become a professional at a sport, you probably don't play it as an adult. I was wrong. I moved to North Carolina back in 2021 or 2. I moved to North Carolina a few years ago. Turns out there is so much soccer here. Like, you can play soccer every day of the week if you want to here as an adult, which I was shocked by. And I, of course, was extremely happy about. I started signing up immediately to all the leagues and the different, events that I can go to. And I've been playing ever since. And it brings me back to being a child, to competing with my friends, to growing a team that can, support each other and help each other. It's a great way to meet people and make friends for me as an adult. And I just love it. And it's been really awesome to see my son learn to love it and grow and try to be better and better at soccer too. It's been great. I've been coaching him, his team, and yeah, it's just amazing. So soccer was probably like my first obsession. And then my second obsession was snowboarding. So I learned to ski when I was about 4 years old, switched to snowboarding when I was about 8 years old. And so those were my two childhood obsessions. Once I learned about snowboarding, I kind of forgot about soccer and I was all in on snowboarding. I started competing. I started going every single day. I would go after school. I would sign up for ski club. I would go on, my family also liked to ski. So we would go places to go skiing, even if it meant, we didn't have like a ton of money. I know it's a really expensive sport. We didn't have like an insane amount of money, but we made it work. I remember like traveling far in a van, sleeping in a van, staying. We went to Colorado once and stayed with my aunt who lived there instead of like, getting a hotel or whatever to save some money. And then we would drive like 2-3 hours to go to the mountains every single day. I just have so many childhood memories around snowboarding and skiing, and it was amazing. And I still try to go every single year, but it's a lot harder now that I live in the South, in North Carolina. There are mountains here though. There are some ski mountains. I just haven't gone yet since I moved here. They're a little bit further away. But yeah, those are my childhood obsessions. And I think there's a lot to them, maybe like the idea of having a team, the idea of self-growth, of always getting better, learning to practice, learning to lose. I think one of the most valuable things we get from sports as children is learning how to take a loss and learning how to bounce back after that loss. Not everything's going to go your way. Sometimes it goes rough. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it doesn't work out. But we have to get back up and try again. And so when I faced challenges later in my adult life, I remembered back to those times as a child when I lost soccer games and I felt sad. I felt down. I felt like, man, I messed up, or, maybe I didn't play my best. And you can't beat yourself up about it. You got to get back out there. As my dad used to say, get back on the horse, even though there's no horse involved with soccer at all. It's a saying that makes a lot of sense. Like, if you fall, get back up and try again. And that's something so simple, that's so easy to say and very cliche, but it's true. Cliches are often true, and that's why they become cliches. People say them over and over again because they are the truth. And they're an easy way to share the truth as well. But today, again, I wasn't as prepared as I want to be, and as I will be hopefully on Monday. I was just deep into some work, and it happens. It's going to happen to you too. So you're not always going to be 100% prepared and ready for the challenges in front of you. Sometimes you just got to show up and try your best anyway. So this is me trying my best in real time. Thank you for being here and taking the time to listen to me, even though I wasn't, fully like doing the best presentation that you've ever seen or anything like that. I'm just trying my best, and I'm showing up every day, regardless of if I'm ready, regardless of if I have everything lined up. I'm just doing what I can. So I hope you do the same, and I hope you have an amazing 2026. And hey, I will be live again on Monday. I'm not going to do the weekend lives very often. I will still do them sometimes, but they'll be more like a surprise and a rarity, more than, a thing that I do every single day. But Monday to Friday, I will be live at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm proving it right now by doing it on a day when I was not ready at all. So thank you so much for your time and attention. And I'll catch you next time. I'll see you real soon. And if you have any questions, let me know. That helps me make content. Hit the like button so YouTube knows we're making great stuff and shares our stuff with more people. And hit the subscribe button if you're new here so we can continue working together through